Hello, everybody. It is June 17th, 2026. We're sitting at 20 degrees. It's pretty good weather. It's pretty sunny today with a high of 24 and a low of 14. Okay, moment of truth. I've got this bone broth protein shake, and sorry, I don't have my headphones or headset on me at this moment because they're downstairs. But anyways, okay, I'm gonna try this because it is a bone broth protein smoothie. Let's see what it tastes like. Well, I think it tastes good. I think it tastes like chocolate. Well, so it's chocolate bone broth protein powder. I put cacao powder in here and blueberries, oat milk, um, peanut butter and ice. But it's like I put in a lot of oat milk, so it's like pretty watery. It's more like a drink than a smoothie, but it has a lot of protein in it, so that's good. Anyways, what's going on today? What is up? So we've got a special guest tomorrow coming on, or actually, we might have two. It might be like a back-to-back podcast day. We have Julia Sotis. I won't say what the topic is because it's a surprise. And so I'm excited for that. And that is tomorrow at noon. So if you have any questions, send them in. Feel free to send in any questions at any time for this podcast. And then same with the evening time. I think we'll have Darren. He's a great friend of mine. So we'll be chatting as well. And that might be at 8 p.m. Right now it's 8 p.m. on June 17th. And then on the next day coming up on the Friday, we have scheduled in Maya Diane, another great friend of mine. These people are great facilitators. So again, if you have any questions on any topic that you want to talk about or hear about, let me know. Send them in. You're more than welcome to. Um, Oh man, and also at some point, maybe Curry Glassell will hop on too. She's a great friend of mine as well. I've taken classes with her, had some one-to-one sessions and everything. So chatted with her today. Had a great conversation and what letting go looked like. And, she had a great example. And that kind of made me think of like, well, like what else can I let go of? Because like for example, if you're there's this whole thing about wanting something, like wanting, I don't know, people want things all the time, especially if you look at children. They like, I want a Lego set. I want this PlayStation 5 or whatever. I don't know what people want nowadays. And so the biggest example for me was I have a half brother and I had lost contact with him. And I was like, one day I was like, oh, I should get in contact with him. So I was like trying to get in contact. I was calling the army base, I called the distant family members, I called every single person on earth, but like, everyone who I thought could be connected to try and get a hold of my long lost half brother. And I felt like I had put so much effort in because I was like, well, I've just tried so hard. I was mowing the lawn and I took a pause and I looked up at the sky and I was like, well, I'm just gonna let this go because I might not ever get into contact with this person ever again. And energetically, things just really lightened up. And it was a very hot summer day. The sky was blue. I looked up and I let go. And energetically, everything became lighter. And lo and behold, I swear to God, that same day, my dad came and talked to me and was like, hey, your half brother's on the phone. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah. I'm like, how'd you get a hold of him? He's like, Facebook. I was like, what? I was like, what the fuck? So it's a great example for me of letting go and what that can create. Um, there's someone in my life that I see once in a while. And what's interesting about that is I sometimes think I'm like, you know what? I might not ever see this person or speak to them ever again because it's true. And I look at that and I'm like, and I'm okay with that. You know? But the easiest thing about that is there's no worry, there's no anxiety, there's no ties. I wish them well, but I'm not thinking about what they're doing. I'm not caring about what they're doing. I'm not wondering anything. I just know that this person exists. We hang out once in a while, and I might not ever talk to them ever again. And it's so bizarre how I'm like, okay, great, awesome. Now what am I doing today? You know, like what's on the docket today? I find that sometimes people want something specific, a relationship, a lover, more money, a better job, um, some sort of justice or whatever. I don't know. I find that people, or their righteousness or their dignity or whatever. And I find that, they do, it's what they say, like once you let it go, it might just show up. And I think it's so cliche, oh, there's like blueberries all over my hands. My hands are dyed blue. That's kind of funny. Um, it is so cliche to say if you let it go, it might come back. So it's like if you're wanting this perfect relationship and you've put in so much effort. I kind of look at that. I look at like I've put in effort into meeting people, and like once sometimes if you just let go and forget about it, it'll be interesting how that relationship might show up. Um so let's just see what happens with that. But it's also like, sometimes it feels like you're putting in so much effort, and I don't think things should be that hard. I don't think life should be that hard. I don't think life should be that difficult. It really shouldn't be. What I find is the best thing in life is when things come so naturally and so easy. It's almost like, yeah, like the greatest things that can happen seem very serendipitous. Like, and actually the other day, so I had the day off, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna spend this whole day to myself. Actually, I did this twice, 2 days. Um, on my days off, I was like, well, for one, I'm not going to be on my cell phone at all. So one day I put the cell phone down, had it off, did not even, I actually could turn my phone off and not care and not even care to look at it again. But, I did turn it back on after that whole full day of not having it. I thought, I wonder, I should do a challenge of like, really turning off my phone and seeing for how many days I could go without a cell phone. I think I'd be fine, to be honest. Honestly, I think I'd be fine. And then that was one day. And then the next day, well, not the next day, but the next day that I had off, I I said, okay, I'm going to take this day and have it to myself. And like, but like not give myself, even though I had a partner, like a friend who was there, but it was actually really light and very enjoyable. Whereas, where sometimes you think you have to like be with somebody and you're obligated to meet up for a coffee, you have to go see your friend. Like, I mean, I know I'm making it sound so fun right now, but it was very an easy day. I woke up early in the morning, was a great day. Um, hold on. Uh, so it was a great case, a beautiful day. I thought it was going to be extremely hot. It wasn't that hot. And this friend of mine said, this friend said, like, so it was a hiking partner, basically, a buddy, hiking friend, new person, whatever. because I realized I'm like, what would it take for more cool people to show up who would like to do activities, activity friend, activity buddies, whatever, partner, buddy, friend, whatever, just a fucking person to show up. I've done things on my own forever, but I think there are really cool people in this world who are very simple, who just want to go for a hike, just shut up and go for a hike. That's it. And also chat. But like, um, okay. Uh, okay, here we go. This is great. Someone sent in a question. Okay, but first of all, I'm going to talk about my day. And then I'm going to get into this question that my friend sent in. Um, okay, so um, my friend said, let's go for a hike. And I was like, okay, cool. I don't know where to hike in this town. Let's just go. So we go for a hike, and that was great. And it was really nice. Like sometimes I'm just too, like in my brain, I'm like, I don't think I'll be able to go for a hike because I could be out of shape. But you know what? That hike, even though it was going up fucking hill, was not bad at all. And then, oh yeah, so the whole plan was to go get some brunch after. And then after brunch, I said, well, I am going to the gym. And my friend is looking for a gym buddy as well and said, do you mind if I join you? And I said, yes, join me. We invited each other. I was like, join me at the gym. That was great. It was a lot of fun, very easy. And I usually get annoyed with people at the gym with me. But this person, very easy to be around. And that is the way life should be, with friends who are easy. You enjoy their company. It's very easy. And then, funny enough, well, we had to do some errands and then went and saw the movie, Scary Movie, and that was cool. And that was the whole day. And I got home and I was so energized that I could not sleep. I thought I was going to go straight to sleep, but I couldn't sleep. Okay, so I've had a question come in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to answer this question and then I'm going to end this podcast because I'm going to go hang out after this and do stuff, fun stuff. Okay. So, okay, so the question is, why is it so hard to find real people wanting real relationships? LOL. And then I think, hold on. Um, what is a small everyday habit that you think builds the strongest foundation for a partnership? Okay, so let's go back to the first question. Why is it so hard to find real people wanting real relationships? Oh, hold on. Well, here's another question. Or how about, are women who love women attracted to thicker bodies? Because I feel like no, LOL. Okay, let's jump to that question because that's a good one. Okay, there's a whole lot of stuff coming up. And so if I were your friend, which I am, a friend will always ask you, what are you aware of? And also, okay, there's this thing called the 5 elements of intimacy. And that is vulnerability, honor, gratitude, truth, and allowance. So write that down. Now, if you were to have the elements of intimacy with you, what would that change? And would you be able to receive yourself and receive people who would just want to devour you and have all the sex with you and give you everything you could possibly like and enjoy your body? So it's, what are you aware of? Do you have the elements of intimacy with you? You might not want to hear this. You might not want to hear this answer because you're like, well, I think you should agree that people don't like thicker bodies because I feel like it's a no. It's interesting because if you see people like who have larger bodies, and I know a couple, I've seen this. The most beautiful thing that I saw, and I just thought this was the cutest thing ever. I was in Costa Rica. I was at the pool, and there was this very large man. He was big, big guy, large. And he had this tiny, small wife, and she loved him and she was all over him, and they had a child. So they were a happy little family, kids running around. And this guy was just in the pool, and his wife was just glued to him, loving this guy. And, it's like if we were to put aside our judgments about ourselves and who's going to love us, who's not going to love us, who's going to hate us, who's not going to receive us, who will receive us, like all the judgments of, so it's like, how many judgments do you have of yourself? And if you didn't have any judgments, what would you choose? So, thicker bodies. I have a thicker body. And like, I get it. There's lots of different body sizes. So what you could ask is, what would it take for someone to show up who would be attracted to me and my body without judgment, without a point of view? Now, what typically happens is we find people who match our judgments. Judgments are not fun. So if you're judging yourself, you might find somebody who has the same judgment as you that makes you right, correct, and appropriate for the relationship, sex, copulation you'd like to have. So what I'm saying is put that all aside. What if there was no judgment? Who could show up? So it's also like, what are you asking for? Thicker bodies. Like, okay, I'll put myself as an example. So I'm not perfect. I'm not skinny. I'm not thin. I do have a thicker body. And I've always had this type of a body. And yes, weight has fluctuated and I do the best I can and whatever. I have a thicker body. What's interesting is throughout my life is that I have dated women who are, so I'm 5'7", and I've dated women who are like 5'2", size 0, and they're feminine, presenting. So, wear like the hair done, nails done, makeup done, fit, doing what, Pilates or whatever the fuck they do. Like, I don't know. Like, and that, you know, that is the, like, I've spent time with those types of women having a relationship, whether it was a casual relationship, trying to have a serious relationship, sex, copulation, conversation, time spent, dates gone on, relationship working out, not working out, whatever. It's like, so I tend to go for uh, who I would be attracted to. And and never judge a book by its cover. There was one girl that looked kind of like, uh how do I say this? Like a little, like, uh like my photos look average and normal, and not wearing makeup, not done up. This person looked like just a different person, and I was like, whatever. I'm not going to judge a book by its cover. Holy shit! So this person in their photo like looked kind of normal, no makeup, kind of like a little bland or whatever, like not a big deal, like just an average like person, no big deal. Oh my God. I saw this person in person. I met them in person, and they were dressed to the nines, hair done, makeup done, nails done, smiling, perfect smile, beautiful, sparkling eyes. And I was like, this is like a reverse catfish, like this person was so fucking beautiful and was the nicest, kindest person I've ever met. And that was awesome. So like, it's like, what are we asking to show up? So, okay, I wonder if you're asking like, Because you're asking, your question was, is are lesbians attracted to thicker bodies? Mm-hmm. Now, if you're saying it feels like a no, what are you looking at creating? Would you like to have a relationship? Okay, what does that look like? And when you know what your relationship that you'd like to have would look like, and if you're in your back of your mind saying, well, that will never happen, you kind of have to ask for somebody to show up and be willing to be those five elements of intimacy, including vulnerability, and let someone in. Because you know also what you don't want. So if you've had relationships that were tough, rough, not nice, you know what you don't want, then you'll be aware of when something is over and ending and not working out. And do you have the capacity to have a relationship in your life? Are you open to dating? And what energy are you being? Who are you being? What are you being? What is required? What energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to have a banging girlfriend with a banging body who wants to bang your body for all eternity? you know, you know what I'm saying? Like you're like, what? What did you just say? Because it is all about energy as well. So your other question was, why is it so hard to find real people wanting real relationships? And it's like, well, okay, so real people wanting real relationships. On dating apps, there are fake profiles, scammers, people who are weird, people who are just anybody's on a fucking dating app. Fake profiles for sure, scammers for sure. So, what if it is all our perception? So, what if right now our perception could be it is so in look at this sentence. Why is it so hard? Okay, the perception right now is that it's so hard to find real people. So that the two words real people could be like there could be some definitions that we're looking at. So why is it so hard to find real people wanting real relationships? Well, also, we're in this era where people do not know how to communicate. They don't know how to connect. They don't have time. They don't want to put the effort in. The people are lazy. They want an instant U-Haul lesbian relationship. Do you want a lesbian U-Haul relationship? What are you looking for? And wanting a real relationship. So it's like, what is our perception? What are we creating? What are we thinking? What are we asking for? Because if our perception and our point of view is, well, I can't have a relationship, no one likes my thick body, no one likes me, I don't like myself, I don't love myself. Well, that's a lie because I do. Like I love myself, so fuck you all. What is the underlying point of view? What is the perception that we have that keeps us alone or keeps us where we're at? So if it's like we're in this place, you have to look at, okay, would I want to date myself? I've asked myself this, and I know who I am. And if you're being you, the question could be like, because if you want a real relationship, if you want someone to show up, it's like, what would it take for someone to show up? Who would like to play? Now, so to answer your question is to ask a question. What would it take for fill in the blank to show up? What would it take for a beautiful woman to show up who would like to date me? If that's what you'd like. Maybe it's a a man. I was gonna say never mind, never mind. We got to be politically correct here. No, like we got to be PC. Yeah, PR. I need a PR manager. I was gonna make a joke, but then it's a personal joke, and you'd be like, "Shut up! I can't believe you said that." So, anyways, and then what small everyday habit that you think builds the strongest foundation for a partnership? So that is your second question. And it says, what is a small everyday habit that you think builds the strongest foundation for a partnership? It is those 5 elements of intimacy: trust, honor, gratitude, allowance, vulnerability. Now, a habit that will build the strongest foundation for a partnership is you being you no matter what and not giving up yourself. Every day, a habit could be asking for more of you to show up and being you instead of giving yourself up. Because the more that you be you, women are going to think that's absolutely hot. And so, in that, it is like taking care of yourself, focusing on yourself, focusing on what you would like to create. Now, when this seems centralized on you, where you're like, well, I don't want to be a narcissist and, I don't want to just focus on myself, but it's like, okay, well, if you're giving yourself up constantly, then you're spending yourself so much that you're not being you and you're giving yourself up. So, a habit that will build the strongest foundation for a partnership is you being the foundation, you having the foundation, and you being yourself and focusing on what it is you'd like to create. Okay, what do you want to create in your life? How, like, an abundant life? What exactly would you like to create? And are you asking for someone to show up in your life to create with you? And you might have to go through, like, whether it's a dating app or however you meet people, you might have to kind of filter through a lot. I do. Holy shit, look at those fucking dating apps, man. I'm ready to hop off them and delete them and throw my phone in the fire, I tell you. It's interesting. I think I've given you a lot to work with, but I think if you have more questions on this, write them down, send them in, because what we do is like, it's looking at this and saying, like, if there's anything you've gotten from this podcast, it's like, if you take these questions and these tools and apply them, things will change. So what is it that you would like to create? What is it that you would like to change? Are lesbians attracted to thicker bodies? I think it's the being. Your body, I think when you can go for what it is that you would like and engage and be present, sometimes it ain't gonna matter. Like, you got to include your body. You're talking about body here. If you're including your body and being very present and aggressively present and in your body, and like, so if you're being you, connected to your body, engaging with a woman that you're interested in and asking her questions and being the turn on and being everything that is required, then will you have more communion with you and your body? And will that be a huge turn on for the person you're in front of? You know? So it's like, I know you're talking about relationship, and if you're only thinking in your brain and you're not including you and including your body, but you're stuck in your brain, I think that's what's going to be the thing that limits you. Your brain is going to be limiting you, where you could be setting yourself a little bit more free by being connected to your body and including you. So start working on that and ask, who would like to play? What would it take for someone to show up who would like to go on a date or play? I say play, or, you know, and don't think, don't compute things in your brain. Things aren't going to be computed in your brain. Take a look at what's been going on right now. So I know that you're thinking in your brain. Has that been working for you, and has that created a life and living that is working for you? What if you were to tap in energetically, start getting present, focusing on you and your what you would like to create? So my questions for you is, what are you aware of and what would you like to create? All right. Okay, I went off quite I talked about that for quite a while. So anyways, we'll talk soon. I'm gonna have so again, I'm gonna have Julia on tomorrow, possibly Darren in the evening, and then Maya. So there I've got three facilitators coming up. Send in your questions about anything and everything. Relationships, sex, business, body. And again, to my friend who sent in the questions, thank you very much for being vulnerable enough to send in these questions. If you have more, feel free, write them in, send them in. Happy to chat about it. And we can also bring it up with the facilitators coming up as well. So anyone who has more questions, always send them in. Have a good night, guys. Love you all.